Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Before I begin today, a big thank you to John for the virtual gift voucher. Huge thank you my friend for the support, it is truly appreciated, thank you. But on to today. Today we discuss the current situation of the Space Wolf Successors, the new Sons of Russ. Now I'm not sure this needs a spoiler warning, but what the hey. General spoiler warning to begin, as we will be discussing events from across the Warhammer 40k lore, so you have been warned. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. Okay, so as we know, the Space Wolves don't exactly have a glorious history when it comes to successor chapters. And really this all stems all the way back to the final years of the heresy itself. The Space Wolf Legion, as all their fellow legions, had been in some fierce battles, but it was in the waning days of the heresy that the wolves suffered their highest casualties. Leman Russ, feeling the need to face his brother Horus one last time, took the entirety of his legion to face the vastly superior numbered Sons of Horus fleet, personally boarding the vengeful spirit and hacking his way through the decks of the flagship to confront the fallen Warmaster himself. And we've discussed this moment many times in the past, but it was Russ who was dragged away by his sons. A desperate fighting retreat through the halls and corridors of the vengeful spirit. And despite getting their Primarch away to safety alive, the Space Wolves Legion had become decimated. Russ had gambled everything on killing the traitor Warmaster. But it was his love of a brother that stopped him. And for that, his sons paid the price. And it was further compounded as the traitor forces pursued the broken legion across the stars, salvation only coming with the arrival of the Raven Lord, who aided the remnants of the Space Wolf Legion in escaping their fate. And so it was, as the heresy ended and Guilliman's Codex Astartes was eventually accepted, the Space Wolves Legion was divided only once, fully half of its remaining number, forming the successor chapter, the Wolf Brothers. Now, if this was the Codex mandatory 1,000 Marines, we don't know. The Space Wolf Great Companies have always been loose with the Codex, to say the least, so it's quite possible the Wolf Brothers numbered more than the standard 1,000 Marines. And interestingly, there was a very specific role intended for the Sons of Russ. The Wolf Brothers were only planned to be but the very first of the Space Wolf Successors. All the lineage of Russ would garrison worlds encircling the Eye of Terror. As the Sons of the Lion are referred to as the Unforgiven, the Space Wolves and Successors were to be the Sons of Russ. And they were to keep the traitors locked within, jailers of the damned. And I absolutely love this idea with a capital LOVE. We know Russ and his sons have a natural ward against the powers of chaos, and I really hope these plans are kept and expanded upon when we enter the Scouring series. But of course, it was not to be. The Wolf Brothers' gene seed quickly began succumbing to mutation at an alarming rate. The Calyx Helix of Russ saw the rise of Wolfen within the chapter at overwhelming numbers. So fast it quickly got to the point that the Inquisition abolished the chapter, and no more attempts at founding from Russ's gene seed was made. Now, why this affected the Wolf Brothers chapter so fiercely and not the Space Wolves themselves is not known, and we can definitely dive into this another day, Was it the absence from Fenris, or some secret act performed by the Emperor during the original founding? We just don't know. And so it was. The Space Wolves remained the only sons of Russ. Until, of course, 10,000 years later, Belisarius Cawl revealed his Primaris creations, and with it, Space Wolf Successors. Belisarius, while not removing the Canis Helix, coming to the conclusion that it was absolutely intended by the Emperor, apparently stabilised it enough for successor chapters to be made. Now, this had a bit of a mixed reaction, and I understand that point of view. I'm a little torn about it myself. The Space Wolves not being able to have successors, being the only sons of Russ, did give them a unique quality that no other founding chapters could match. But on the other hand, this does reopen that Sons of Russ plan from the Scouring. Could we see chapters being garrisoned all along the Great Rift, and the Sons of Russ finally being the wardens against the ruinous powers and their traitor kin that they were always meant to be? It's definitely an interesting idea. But there also remains another possibility. We have already seen the promise of Cawl's creations fail in the Sons of Sanguinius. Despite initial hopes and promises that the curse of their bloodline was now ended, and that the Primaris Marines were immune to the Black Rage and Red First, it has most definitely come to light that that is not to be, and the Primaris of Sanguinius have already succumbed to the Black Rage and Red First. So, as the Sons of Sanguinius fall to the same fates of old, could the Sons of Russ, whatever it was that caused the Wolf Brothers' fate, could we see the same one become of the new successors, chapter after chapter, once more becoming ever more afflicted by the Wolfen curse? Again, that would be a fascinating storyline, because it again would bring the Space Wolves into conflict with the Inquisition. Because do we really think the Space Wolves would sit idly by whilst the Inquisition eradicated chapters of their bloodline? I certainly don't think so. And look, I don't think we'll get this storyline, but man, I would enjoy it. Especially now Guilliman has returned. How would Rabute react to the Wolves going up against the Inquisition? Let's be real here, I doubt he'd be surprised. He's had plenty of interaction with his brother Russ and his sons. But enough of possible futures. The successor chapters are now here. That is a fact. So what do the Space Wolves make of them? Well, in the new Space Wolf Codex, while we are not shown any Space Wolf Successor chapters, which admittedly is a little strange, we are told what Grimnar makes of them. Firstly, it's stated, Guilliman visited Fenris, which probably is an editing mistake, because we saw in the novel Ashes of Prospero that Guilliman actually sent an emissary to Fenris rather than attending himself. I'd certainly love to see Rabute make his way to his brother's homeworld and speak with Grimnar, talking to him of Russ, being able to see Grimnar actually speak to Rabute of his Primarch. It would be a fascinating conversation to hear Rabute tell his sons of Leman. The Wolves absolutely respect Guilliman and his position as Lord Commander, but let's make no bones about it. At the end of the day, he is not their Primarch. But according to this new law, after Guilliman departed, Grimnar declared that all of Russ's lineage were indeed sons of the Wolf King, even if perhaps not Fenris itself. And being a true son of the Wolf King himself, rather than adopt Guilliman and Cawl's methods of war with the new technology and units, They were incorporated into the Space Wolves' way of warfare, and this was then rolled out to all the successor chapters. They would use Belisarius's creations, but how they intended, not how Belisarius deemed. And apparently most of the successor chapters adopted Grimnar's decree, while there were some in typical headstrong Russ fashion that adopted their own. So there we have it. Space Wolf Successors are officially once more part of the lore, and there is plenty of them. Whole chapters out there amidst the stars. While not explicitly stated, it appears their relationship to the founding chapter is something along the lines of Dante's and the rest of the Sons of Sanguinius. While not outright commanding them like Azrael does with the Unforgiven, they most likely look to the Space Wolves and Grimnar as their spiritual figurehead and leader. And this is most especially likely with the Space Wolves being much larger than your standard Codex chapter. So I guess it's time I do a competition to create a name and scheme for a Wolf Lord Rho's own chapter. That's something I'll definitely have to get up and running. Now, if I had a preference, would I prefer the Wolves to have successors or not? I'd say probably not. The Space Wolves being the only Sons of Russ definitely had a unique feel to it. But look, like I said, it could definitely open up some fantastic avenues for storytelling. And it's always fun seeing the unique designs for more successor chapters, let alone designing one yourself. So the question is, where will they take the story? Will we see another dramatic fall into the darkness of the Wolfen curse? Or are Space Wolf Successors here to stay? And what do you guys think of it? As always, drop your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.